what is it? Dale, dale. No. I'm so bad with all that. There's so many different chants now that like, but the one at the end, Escuadrón de Fresno. I was like, man, when I heard that, I'm like, well, there's a new group over there. I'm like, damn, they're in some different type of blue, like, but there's a whole bunch of them. And this is, I love, and I was like, man, what? So, how?
I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know. It was just an idea that came to us. It was I started with my cousin Junior. It was me and him that were like, bro, like I know we have what it takes to be our own group, and if we can make it happen, like we're gonna explode.
Was it nerve-wracking to make that jump?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely,
because you've been associated, Chente, Vicente, El Prezi, like you've been associated with quite a few different supporter clubs across a pretty wide range of different leagues and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so, I mean, the way I kind of started getting into like the soccer scene here in Fresno or in the Valley, which is the 559 FC as we call it, was obviously when I created the Barcelona supporter group. You know, I'm a big Barca fan, and I started by going to like Strummers. And then I think it was Bulldog Burger Bistro where the Fresno Irons used to be, Kyle and the West Ham guys.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what made me make the jump for it. I was just like, bro, if West Ham can pull this many people at 7 a.m, like what can't I do with Barcelona?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like where I first stepped into the community.
For me, it's like, I mean, you can't not want to watch Barcelona. I mean, they've got Messi, right? Yeah, it's like the Michael Jordan of our era, in a way. And it's like another crazy thing about it was they were always really challenging to find on TV.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, as I started getting into watching soccer more often, especially international soccer, I always struggled to find Barcelona.
Yeah,
because they were only on
beIN Sports,
right? And so you had to have like a special package.
Yeah, you gotta have that special package, or the what is it, the Deportes Latino package, or something that carried beIN Sports, which was hardly any. So yeah. It was a little tough to get him.
So did you have to find like a place that actually had that channel? Was that one of the challenges?
Yes and no. When we first were at, I think we started at Pedro's Mexican Restaurant. It's like this little Mexican restaurant in like downtown Fresno, right behind the community hospital.
Okay.
It's just like that area right there. They had it. So it was good for us. We started there, and then we moved over to Beach Hut. They also had it.
Oh, Beach Hut Deli.
Beach Hut Deli over by Maya Cinemas.
Yeah.
From there is when we moved over to Pine and Palm. At Pine and Palm, I believe they did have to add it, and then we were there for a good while. After that, we tried it at Los Panchos, but at Los Panchos, it was different. We added the package to theirs, and we were the ones paying for it. So we're like, hey, take us in. All we want is just the Barca games. We're willing to pay for them. And so we were.
That's cool.
That's what we did. But anyways, the Barca group is how I stepped into the 559 FC and the soccer community. You know, once I was there, I got, started meeting Ed and Andrew and everybody else, and that's kind of like when I started attending the Fuego games a lot more. At the time, it was only Fire Squad, so I was with Fire Squad. I think I started like in 2016. Yeah, like the 2016 seasons when I started, linking up with Fire Squad.
What was that experience like,
bro? Like that to me, that was badass. I was just like, what is this, bro? Like I've never seen this. And it was like, I had been obviously to Chivas games prior and like, Mexico games, and I had seen like the atmosphere. And to me, it was just like, that's the closest thing I have to that here in my hometown.
Yeah, to get to experience it, not just view it on TV.
I was thrilled. I was just like, hell yeah. I was like, and like at the time, it was just me. You know what I mean? I didn't really know many people. And so it was just me and my little sister. I was just pulling her, so I just wasn't alone. And at the time, my sister was I don't know, I want to say like 13, 14 years old.
So she's just all about it.
I was just like pulling her with me at Tioga and at the games. And she was into it. So I was just like, cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I started with the Fuego, with the Fire Squad like in 2016, 2017. And like shortly after was like when the Zorros was announced. And so that was, exciting too. You know what I mean? And so after being with them for quite some time is when I was just like, I got more comfortable with everybody. I met a lot of people, and I started kind of pulling my people to like, hey, come out to the games. You know what I mean? Like, Fire Squad's a supporter group and the supporter section, and we get down like it's badass.
It changed. I mean, it totally changed how working for the club, like the atmosphere of our games. I mean, we always had like these cool games before, and people had a good time, but it's like it felt like it was missing a piece that was supposed to be there. And finally, when Fire Squad was gathered and assembled, and they started showing up, and it started growing, we were like, oh damn, there's something pretty special here.
Yeah, no, I love Fire Squad, man. I'm pretty sure it's thanks to them that all this supporter scene even exists today. Yep. You know what I mean? So my respects to them, and
it brought a group of people together at the beginning that were kind of the different supporter groups in town. Ed was with Arsenal, and Ewan was with Chelsea, and a bunch of other guys, right? With all the other kind of EPL clubs, and then it gave them kind of like one thing to all get to know each other on. And then it seemed like maybe this happened before and I didn't notice, but a lot of the groups started doing like collab days.
Yeah,
it was like Liverpool and West Ham, so we're all going to wherever, Strummers or Full Circle, so it was like it was cool that everybody started kind of coming together, because it's like, all right, we're all together on squad.
Yeah.
So whenever we do these other things, like, let's just do it together.
Yeah.
Even this weekend, I saw you were out there with one of my buddies.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
the one and only Atletico Bilbao fan in the city. It was
funny, bro, because we were there. I mean, obviously, you don't really see Bilbao fans here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we just see these two guys walk into Pine and Pond with Bilbao jerseys, and they're like, yeah,
shout out to Dan.
Enemy
Shout
territory.
out to Dan, by the way. Yeah.
Enemy territory. And we're like, oh shit, like, what's up? We're just like, what's up, bro? We're all cool and stuff. And so it was like at halftime when I actually started talking to him, and I was just like, what's up, bro? I'm Vicente, and he told me his name, and he told me that he knew you and all this and that. I was like, oh shit, let's take a picture, bro. Let's send it to him.
Yeah, I got that random picture. I was like, oh man, I should be there.
It was funny because that day Barca played at 12, and then right after LAFC played. I didn't know he was an LAFC fan. So, I guess the game against Bilbao is over, and I see him walking away, and I was just like, oh, damn, he didn't say, I didn't get to say bye. I thought he was leaving. Later on, like 2-3 minutes later, I see him walking back with the LAFC jersey, and I was just like, I had my LAFC jersey in the car too, so I was just like, put that shit on.
Put it on.
I put it on. I was like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, what's up, bro?
I mean,
bro, we're enemies at 12. We're buddies at 3.
It's incredible, right? It's like, that's what this supporter club culture can kind of do. It's like, we can have rivalries, and we can be, but we're all friends, and we're all family, and like, we might support the same teams here and not there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that's changed the culture of the Fuego and changed the culture, I think, of our soccer community.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all part of the beautiful game. You know what I mean? It's just like, soccer wouldn't be the same without rivalries, but it also wouldn't be the same, not having your buddies around type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You share the experience with people, for sure.
And there's those times where you're just like, man, like, we're the complete opposite. If only you can like this team so we can, like, root together.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, it's like that with some of my friends.
Has it introduced you to new people that you would have never been friends with had it not been for...
Definitely, bro. Yeah. Definitely. Hell yeah. I feel like some of my closest friends right now are, rival teams, of rival teams. And it's funny because when Real Madrid Fresno started, popping up, I was just like, man, F those guys. This and that. like Barca's Blaugrana. I mean, Fresno's Blaugrana. It's like just red and blue, and they're not taking over and this and that. And when I first met the guy that was starting Real Madrid Fresno, his name's Danny, which is actually, he was one of our capos for Escuadrón.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's how far it got. That it's just like, at first, and like we talk about it now, it's just like, bro, I hated you when you first started, creating your group. Like, I hated you. I was like, and look at us now. You know what I mean?
It's crazy,
like, we talk every day, and we chill whenever we can, and it's just, I feel like rivalries in the game is just like, they're beautiful. You know what I mean? It's just,
it's beautiful.
It wouldn't be the same. The game wouldn't be the same without it.
And I think too, I mean, it's like the diversity in people. that are in there, man, it's like you go to Tioga and you see all the different types of people that are in there, and it's like, would those people have come together if it hadn't been for their support of the Fuego or whatever team they're with? And it's just like, that's really cool. It widens your scope of how you look at people.
It's funny because when I first met the Danny, which is the guy that was running the Real Madrid Fresno, was at Tioga, in like a Fuego, or at the time it was Fresno FC, at a Fresno FC event. And I was just like, I saw him and I was just like, that's him. I was like, that's the guy. Like, I know it is. But I didn't go up to him.
No.
I didn't go up to him. I was just like, nah, I ain't gonna talk to him. Like, fuck that. And so I was with my friends and stuff. I was just like, that's him. Like, that's the guy that runs Real Madrid Fresno. Da da da. And I was just like, whatever, And so he's walking by, and like I just pat him on the back, and then I was like, "What's up, bro?" And he's just like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And like that's just where it started.
And he was just chill.
It was just chill. We just talked, and he told me like what his plan of his group in the long run was, and pretty much what he wanted to do. And I couldn't help but say like I was down for it, because it gave me, as a La Liga supporter group, another group to like go against.
Yeah, you can do combined stuff or talk shit or whatever.
Other than that, like I can only talk shit with the EPO groups, like during Champions League.
Yeah, and you're lucky if you get to play them. Whatever it is.
Like I feel like the best Champions League experience that we've had, here with like the supporter groups.
Liverpool against Barca?
No, that was not. No. No. No, it was a few years before that. It was against Chelsea.
Okay.
It was against Chelsea. We packed the Hook, and then they came and packed Pine and Palm.
Wow.
On the away game type thing. So it was a great
So
experience.
you basically go to their place when you're when you're on the road playing.
It's like an away game.
That's super cool.
It's like an away game. If Barca was playing at Stamford Bridge, well, FCB Fresno goes to the Hook.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea's playing at Camp Nou, well, the Central Valley Blues come to Pine and Palm.
That's super cool.
You know what I mean? And it's tight because
that's super cool.
Like you talk shit and you banter back and forth, but it doesn't go beyond that.
Yeah, it's just fun.
You know what I mean?
And how about like the relationships with all the bars? Like, has that been difficult, or has that been like something pretty enjoyable?
It's been enjoyable. I mean, to me, it's been enjoyable. At least the bars that I've been to, which is pretty much all of them, they've all accepted us. They've all, welcomed us. And I mean, the supporters being there kind of helps as well.
Yeah, it helps.
We all know each other, and so they're like, "Hey, what's up, bro? This and that." You know what I mean? Obviously, sometimes as like the bar owner, I'm pretty sure they feel like a little bit, not intimidated, but like damn, if something sparks off, like we got both teams here, like anything can go down. But I mean, we all know each other. We're all cool, and so I mean, it's never gone beyond that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about something before the podcast about, how fans fight and stuff. And
I hate that shit, bro.
It's terrible, yeah.
I hate that
and
shit.
I remember my one experience. So I went to a Liverpool match, and it was a Champions League game against Napoli at home. And I guess when Liverpool played Napoli in Italy, there was some fan stuff, there was beef, whatever. People were fighting. And so when I left the Liverpool match, I didn't know that this was happening. Our taxi driver ended up telling us. But there were just people sprinting down the streets in Liverpool. Like you saw them in blue jerseys just running from a pack of like red jerseys. And it was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, it happens, bro. And it's like a thing. It's a thing, around the world where it's just like, that's just the way.
It's not good. I mean, I hope the culture here is more collaborative. I feel like it is already.
I feel like in the U.S. in general, like that's not something that you tend to see often, or you see a lot, because you see a lot of movement of supporter groups trying to pull away from that type of soccer culture that is around, unfortunately. But I feel like here in the U.S. in general, it's not as bad as it is in other countries. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned to you before the podcast, I was running with like a supporter group a few years back where, I mean, I was around because I just loved that environment and I loved the energy and the atmosphere in the stands. But once it was like outside and like the game was over, like, bro, you don't go hit people just because they're wearing the opposing jersey or the opposing team's jersey. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I just didn't fuck with. You know what I mean? That wasn't me. And so that's kind of like what made me pull away. And in my head, it's like you're not gonna use the team logo or the team colors as a representation to go do like
basically
stuff,
gang violence,
pretty much gang stuff. You know what I mean? And so with me now with Escuadrón, like I want to bring that same atmosphere and that same vibe and energy in the stands without the violence. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's pointless, bro. Like, it's pointless. People come and bring their families to enjoy a game and watch a game. And for them to see that or for it to happen to them, it's just like, nah, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, there's been in my lifetime, you know, I've worked in hockey and baseball and minor league football, soccer, and it's just like when I've gone to matches as a fan or games as a fan, like I'm an Oakland Raiders fan, and so when I go to Raiders games, I mean, there's an element there of danger. I mean, you know what I mean, and it's not a good feeling. I don't believe. And it's like maybe some people glorify that or whatever. I don't. I'm like, I want to be able to take my children to my football team. You know what I mean? I grew up loving this team. And so it's like, but I wouldn't feel comfortable taking them to the Oakland Coliseum because it just shit goes down like all the time. And it's something I hate to see about soccer, you know, about sports in general. But for whatever reason, football and soccer seem to elevate that tribalism in a different way. Like you're not seeing the Milwaukee Bucks fans go beat up like, you know, the San Antonio Spurs. But for whatever reason that happens in soccer, and we've had a lot of games at Chansey Park with Liga MX teams.
I remember you mentioned it in
Holy
one of your previous
cow,
podcasts.
yeah, where there's been some bad situations, and it's like, thank God, during my time with Fuego for a number of years and with FC, our fans haven't ever really been like that, thankfully enough. And it's like Fresno's got this rebellious attitude, and there is that kind of like middle finger in the air towards our enemies, but at the same time, people get along and behave, and that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like since I've been with Fire Squad, or since I had been with Fire Squad, Ed and Andrew and everybody in general, like they did a good job at, you know, making that clear. Like, you know what I mean? Like we respect the opponent, and it just doesn't go beyond, you know, the banter and the shit talking. And, you know, that's one thing that I've always liked, you know, about Fire Squad, that, you know, they're strict on their rules. Not strict, but, you know, they make it clear to everybody.
Yeah. What I mean, I guess from your time with Squad, but also being an LAFC supporter, you've gone and sat in the supporter section there. Like, what you know, what have you learned through that experience now that you're a supporter club leader that you can kind of implement here with your own group?
So for sure, one thing that I can say, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said it before and you've heard me say it, is there can be many supporter groups individually, but on game day, you guys all just have to come together, man. Like, we all just have to come together.
Amen to that.
And just be one voice. We just got to be one voice, because I'm going to be honest, when towards the end of the FC season, when now there was 4 supporter groups with mine, people told me straight up, like, you guys just sound like crap. You guys just sound like a bunch of noise, including Escuadrón. You know what I mean? It's like, there's too much ego here, you know? You want to be louder than that group, and that group wants to be louder than you. And he's like, there's just too much ego going on. Like, you guys got to all come together and make this decision that you guys are all here for the same team. And you guys, at the end of the day, you guys got to make the team look good. You know what I mean? And so that's one thing that, to me, that's my goal. And I've made that clear to my guys. I was like, with the new team, my goal is to unite or try to bring together the supporter section to where it's only one voice rather than 4 voices, and it's just like a bunch of gibberish and noise here, noise there. I was like, if you watch the televised games, or at least that's what I did. You know, when there was a home game for FC, I would go home the next day and watch the game just to listen to us, just to listen to the supporter section, and it sounded like crap. You know what I mean? Like, it's just noise here, noise there, and that's speaking on my group as well. You know what I mean? But for the few chance that we did come together, like, bro, you can hear that so clear, and the supporter section just sounds so much louder.
Sounds
like
incredible.
For the dale, mis, you know, that song or that chant, like, it just sounded so clear. The drums, the trumpets, everything.
Yeah.
Why? Because it was all together. You know, so one thing that I've learned, you know, going to, you know, the LA games and now being a leader here and my time with Fire Squad, like if you want to make a supporter section like sound good and look good, while at the same time you're representing your team, you know what I mean? You're representing the team. You gotta come together, you know what I mean? You gotta leave your ego behind, you know. You gotta just like be all for it and say, you know, this is gonna represent the team. You know what I mean? People are going to watch the games on TV, and if we sound like crap, they're going to be like, bro, Fuego supporters sound like shit, dude. They don't – you can't even understand what they're playing. You can't understand what they're singing. Like, it just has to be combined. And
yeah, it takes time. I mean, it takes time, and it's tough. It's a goal that if all 4 clubs had the same goal, I think we could make it happen.
Definitely.
All of us together. And I'm hopeful for that. I think that it makes sense that we have different supporter clubs.
Definitely.
For sure.
Everybody has their own identity, you know what I mean?
They do, and everybody likes to party in a different type of way,
Exactly.
and everybody's comfortable in a certain type of setting, but being able to unify on game day, you're right, and present yourself as one unison representation of this club. Supporters is it's powerful.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you hear, I mean, a lot of fans, a lot of teams that would come here would be like, dude, you guys have a fucking rockin' supporter section. From the time we were with Fuego and everybody was sitting over the bleachers and it was just right on top, it was super cool, to the time with Fresno FC and having the 4 separate groups. But I agree with you. I hope that there is some type of unison mindset that comes together on game day for this beautiful sounding thing that we could do together.
One thing that I kind of, you know, put out there is nobody has to change their group name. You know what I mean? Fire Squad can keep being Fire Squad. We'll keep being Escuadrón. Vigilantes keeps being Vigilantes, and Skulk keep being Skulk. Like, let's name the section. Mm-hmm. You know, name the section. Don't create a name for the union. Just let's name the supporter section. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And everybody has their own banners. We have our own flags. Everybody still represents themselves. But when we're in the section, we're in whatever the name of that section, you know, comes to be. And we're all one. Mm-hmm. It's just one.
That could be a good social media poll there, huh?
Yeah.
It's
a
just
little social media poll.
One thing that I've kind of put out there is if we name the supporter section El Infierno.
Sounds pretty clean.
Because it ties with Fuego. Mm-hmm. 2, because summers here are hot, bro.
Yeah,
it feels like hell. And if we give the other team hell,
yeah,
bro, it's like welcome to El Infierno, bro, and you're not gonna be able to stop us.
It's beautiful.
You know, just an idea, but yeah, you know, like, you know what I mean.
It's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Like it's just something that it's not gonna benefit anybody but the team in a good way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's how I see it.
No doubt. So what are ways that as a club now you guys are staying active during the pandemic and then this year of kind of waiting for the team to start playing again? A
lot, bro. We've had quite a bit going on. So obviously, you know, last year the pandemic hit pretty hard. We couldn't really do much. So we were meeting up amongst ourselves, you know, doing little things here and there just to stay active and just to stay connected. So we wouldn't get bored. You know what I mean? And so it was just ideas, you know, that you know, we came up with a new logo over the pandemic. We changed our colors over the pandemic, and just a new tifo or a new, you know, main banner over the pandemic. There's like a lot of things that we had going on, you know, and this was last year. You know, coming into this year, I mean, obviously the Fresno State women's, their short spring season just ended, but you know, we're doing that.
That was so cool.
We're doing that. I mean,
you guys are partying outside.
Outside, bro. We're on Barstow Avenue on the sidewalk. And it's awesome. Funny because some of the guys were like, bro, why are we going to go if we're going to be outside? I'm like, that's exactly why, dude. It's just like the girls are not expecting us to be there. The coach is not expecting us to be there. No one's expecting us to be there. And if we show up, they're going to take it as just like, dude, like nothing stops these guys. You know what I mean? They want to support us regardless of the fact if they're in the stands or not.
Means the world. I know it means the world to Coach Z.
Exactly. As long as we show up, like that's going to show them that we're here to support them.
Yeah, no matter what.
Regardless.
I mean, it's such a powerful feeling too. It's like you think about being a fan, and you're like, can I make an impact on whether my team wins or loses?
Exactly.
You cannot tell me that the Fresno State women's soccer team did not get some type of boost and elevation from knowing there's people outside of the gates that can barely even see through the trees that are chanting and cheering me on right now. Like, I've got an extra 10%.
Yeah. And it's funny because there was actually like a few other people there. And when we got there, we started setting up and we started, hitting the drums, warming up. Like, I feel like they remembered us from obviously like the past seasons that we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, damn, you guys are out here. I was like, oh, yeah, we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I told the guys, I was like, to me, as like a supporter, my satisfaction is when the girls come to us, clapping after the game. Mm-hmm. Whether they lose, whether they win. To me, my satisfaction is when the girls come, appreciate what we did for them.
They acknowledge it, yeah.
To me, I did my work. To me, I did my job.
It's powerful. It kind of gives me chills in a way because it's like you think, and I don't want to completely contribute it towards the Fuego or FC or anything. It's just this amazing soccer culture. But when there's a team for us to all rally behind and get for, like, it ends up multiplying in different areas. And now there's a sport club for Fresno State in a way. And it's like, would that have happened before? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just really cool to see that you guys have branched off and gone and supported other matches. And, we've got a bunch of amazing soccer that happens here.
Definitely.
Fresno City College is incredible. I mean, COS is on the way up with Renato. At the helm. Reedley's in good hands. Clovis Community. I mean, there's a bunch of people who have been attached to Fuego.
Yeah. Within all
or
those,
FC in all of those campuses, and it's incredible to see that this Fuego family has just continued to grow in like so many ways and make such a big impact, in my opinion, on this community.
Yeah. And when we first started supporting Fresno State was like right after, FC announced that they were going to be done, that the team was going to fold. We're like, bro, like we're just we're just getting to our peak. Like we can't just stop.
Right.
And so we're like, what are we going to do? And then that's when Milton, hit me up. He's like, bro, come support the girls. I'm down, bro. I'm down. And so we started going. And it's funny because our very, very first game that we went to support Fresno State, we showed up with our drums and everything, and they didn't let us drum. They told us, you guys can't drum. You guys can only drum when there's a goal or at halftime. And we're like, what the fuck? And somebody came, I forgot his name. He came to us, and he was like, nah, that's wrong. He goes, I'm going to go print you guys out the NCAA, regulations and hand them to you guys. If they come and tell you guys to stop, show them that. And we're like, all right. And so he was with the team. He was with Fresno State. I have him on Instagram, but I forget his name. And yeah, he printed out the form and he gave it to me, and we started doing our thing. And then the same security guard came and told us to stop, and I was like, no. I was like, look, on here it says that we can, and we are.
Right.
And so we did. By the next game, they had our own section, like behind the goal.
Oh, really? That's super cool. They brought some bleachers or whatever?
They brought bleachers. And yeah, like ever since then, I told the guys, I was like, regardless of whether we get a team back or not, I was like, we're not going to stop supporting the girls.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One, they gave us something to support when we didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they've accepted us, as rowdy and as loud as we are.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and three is just, it's Fresno, bro.
Yeah.
It's our hometown. There's no
they
reason
deserve
for
it.
us to, they deserve it, and there's no reason for us to stop supporting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, what does the Fuego coming back mean to you?
A lot, bro. Like, when I first heard the news, I was one that I wasn't skeptical about it. I still have a few members like that. They're like, man, like it's just like I don't want to go all in because what if they leave us again? And I was just like, well, then you enjoy it the time that we have it. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? I was like, if it's something that's in my hometown and it's in my city and it's in the valley where I'm from, I'm going to give it my all and give it my 100% and just enjoy the time that we have it if they do happen to leave. You know what I mean? I was like, which I believe they won't. I was like, and I truly believe that. And it's been challenging to like change their minds, but they've been kind of like, okay, kind of seeing it more. Then, especially when the team, started getting more out there on social media, you know, the team store, the shop started going on, you know, online, it's when they kind of like, okay. And to this day, they're like inclined to like, okay, yeah, we'll be for it, but they're still kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, on the fence.
But to me, I'm just like, if I show that to my members, they're gonna be like, well, if our leader doesn't, you know, fully feel like all into it, then what makes me want to be all into it? You know what I mean? So
Right.
to me, I'm just like, I gotta show them like, bro, like we're gonna do whatever it takes to like show this team that we're here for them and we want them to stay. You know what I mean? Like we need a team, and this community, this valley, like, we're deserving of a team, and we have what it takes to have a team.
No question.
You know what I mean?
No question.
Like there's no question about it.
There's absolutely no question. I mean, to me, this community owns the Fuego.
Definitely. And when I heard like, oh, you know, they have the Fuego name and we can't use that, I was like, bro, something's gonna go down. I was like, that name is gonna come back. If we get a new team, that name is gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was announced, I told the guy, like, what did I tell you? Like, what did I tell you? I was like, it's just like the people here, like, it's just like, I don't know.
It was the only choice. It was the only choice, and we had to fight for it, you know, and we did, and we got it. And it just, I think the league knew right away this is the right thing to do.
Definitely.
We have to make sure to do everything we can help this group of individuals get this name back, and we were able to. And I mean, much credit to the USL for helping through that process. They have been incredible throughout, super supportive. I think they know that this community deserves professional soccer. It's ready for professional soccer.
Yeah.
And man, it's super exciting. I get super pumped about it.
I get pumped just like, man, just thinking ahead. I'm just like, bro, once we have this stadium, like, it's a done deal, bro. Like, this team's here to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's just going to come into a city and just build a stadium and leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, once we have that stadium, bro, that, like, we're set, bro. Like, and just, like, the plan that you guys, like, talk to us about and tell us, like, you know, the way you guys want to do it, like, it just makes it that much more exciting, because now it's not just a team. Like, now you have something that kids can, you know, dream to work with. You know what I mean? Like, they work hard since a young age, you know, start playing for the, you know, the youth teams, and just work their way up the ranks till they get to the first team.
I mean, when you think about Barcelona or wherever else, you know what I mean? It's like if you grow up in Barcelona, I mean, it is your absolute dream
To play for
to
Barcelona.
put on that kit.
Exactly.
To put on that kit. And I mean, I know that this is you know, maybe not that level, okay?
Yeah.
But still, a kid can grow up in this valley and have someone on the team that's their hero, whether it's the Milton or the Cheneys or Fabricio or whoever it might be, right? And look up to that person and want to be like that in the future and aspire to really work hard at your craft and get there. And I think that those moments is what made Fuego really special. And to have kids from the area come up and compete for their hometown.
Yeah.
You know, the Paul Islas, right? Like all of those guys, Tyler Reinhardt. I mean, some of the guys that I just remember that were local from here, and just and there's so many of them. Like I can't even name them.
Yeah,
I can't even name them all. But to be able to suit up for your hometown club meant something, and that was at the amateur level. And now to be able to be a pro in your hometown, and I mean, it's just something that I think it's what sports are supposed to be like.
Definitely, man. And one thing that us with Escuadrón that we're you know, stepping into now is the towns out of town. The towns out of Fresno. You know what I mean? It's one thing that we're just starting to do this. So I don't know if you remember, we had that little raffle going on you know, last week or like the week before. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool.
You guys
know
got
what I mean?
a good amount of feedback.
A lot, bro.
Yeah.
It was like it was overwhelming a bit.
Really?
I was getting
Just a bunch of messages?
so many comments, so many messages, and I had to keep track. Okay, I already put.
So you guys had you had a signed jersey or a game worn jersey?
So we had a signed jersey by Chiva.
Okay.
Chiva Cuevas. Milton donated a jersey. I had a size 1 ball that I ended up getting signed by Milton, by Cheney, by Renato, Chiva, and then Eddie Gonzalez. And so I had that ball signed. I had a Fuego scarf, that first one. And then Renato also donated one of the Fuego Fridays for the FC, the polos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it was that. And then I think like an old school, like just T-shirt for Fresno Fuego. And so I was like, okay, so it's a lot to kind of just put in one bundle. Like, so I'm going to break it up. I was like, I'm going to do one jersey, the signed jersey, and then just the rest in a bundle. And so people just started going ham, just blowing up the comments. And I was just like, oh, shit. But I was just like, hey, I was like, it's going to work. And so there was this particular guy that commented and then shared it. And then, boom, I just started getting swarmed with people from Kerman.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
And, I mean, I just... when
Shout out. Is that at Core Supply Company?
At Core Supply Company, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah. El Profe Igual. Yeah.
Okay.
Once I saw him share it, I was just like, this dude's someone big in Kerman. I know for a fact he's someone big in Kerman. I was like, because he just shared it, and then I started getting all kinds of people from Kerman.
Yeah.
And so I kept him... I kept his Instagram, his kind of close. I ended up following him. And so... one of the winners of the winner of the signed Chiva Cuevas jersey was a kid in Kerman, a guy in Kerman. And so that same day that we did the drawings and stuff, I met up with the other two winners that were here from Fresno. Near Fashion Fair, handed them their gifts or whatever. And then that particular guy from Kerman, I was like, hey, well, I'll meet up with you tomorrow, around 12. I was like, just give me a place where I can meet you in Kerman. I was like, I'm not too familiar with Kerman. I was like, but... I'll Google it and I'll meet you there. And so we did that. I met up with him, and while I was there, I took the opportunity to just talk with him. You know what I mean? I asked him, questions about the team, like how did the news hit Kerman of the team coming back? You know what I mean? Being a town that's not obviously Fresno, and with the prior teams known as Fresno Fuego, Fresno FC, what I mean? Fresno's team. I was like, now that this team is like Central Valley Fuego, I was like, how did that hit Kerman, like, or is it talked about a lot? And he said that when the team first got announced, like the news was out there, like it was pretty big. And I mean, even now that people continue talking about the Fuego and the Fuego. And so that's when I was just like, well, so now tell me. I was like, you as an individual who lives in Kerman, like, are you down, or would you be willing to take that 15-minute drive to Fresno to support the team once they're here? Or are you more of like nah, I'm good? He goes, no. He goes, when the Zorros were here, he goes, I would go to the home games. He goes, me and a couple buddies, sometimes my family would go. And so I was like, cool. I was like, so I know Kerman has a pretty big soccer population. I was like, how would you guys feel if we as like one of the supporter groups started hosting a practice here, or started hosting practices regularly out here, just to kind of get you guys involved. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just to show you guys, hey, you know what I mean? This isn't Fresno's team anymore, bro. This is the Valley's team, and you're the Valley, I'm the Valley. Therefore, this is our club. Yep. You know what I mean? So start getting involved. Start getting involved. And he was like, hell yeah, bro. He's like, you know Cora? And I was just like, no. And then he was just like, oh, he goes, I figured you know him. I was like, no. I was like, who's that? And he started telling me, well, he's the assistant coach to the varsity team at Kerman. And so he goes, yeah. He goes, he knows a lot of people. He's the assistant. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll hit him up. And yeah, I did. I hit him up, and I told him, hey, bro, my name's Vicente. I met with your boy Erwin. He was one of our winners and this and that. Well, it turns out Erwin's one of the starting players for Kerman High. So I was just like, cool. I was like, shout out to both of them, bro. I was like, they're the ones that kind of got me, stepped into that kind of thing that we want to get going. Yeah. And then he told me that he has connections in Madera as well. So I started getting connected with people in Madera. And so now we have a practice schedule in Kerman for this Sunday. And then the following Sunday, we're back in Fresno. And then the following Sunday, we're in Madera. And so it's just something that we're trying to I told the guys, like, we got to start getting out there, bro. I was like, and it's better to do it now, because you start breaking those people out of their comfort zone. So by the time March of next year comes around and season openers here, bro, they're already comfortable around
They're
you.
ready to go.
They're already comfortable. They're not
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Like when people want to get into a new group or get introduced, like it's an intimidating
and they're kind of
situation.
nervous. And so I'm just like, bro, if we start now, getting here, getting there, I was like, bro, by the time the season comes, bro, we're gonna have this big old mob of people that are just gonna want to support
from all
the
over
team
the place.
From all over, bro.
Yeah,
from all over. I was like, and it's just gonna be massive.
And I can say firsthand, I mean, Andre and I went into your guys' section one of the nights. I got away from work for a little bit. Immediately, you guys handed us some flags. You were like, wave, just get them going. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I guess we're in.
I told the guys, I was like, bro, if we have flags, those flags, I better not see those flags on the bleachers, bro. Because if we bought those flags, they're going to be up in the air. You know what I mean? I was like, anybody that steps into the section, hey, you want a flag? You want a flag? No? All right, well, here, take it anyways. You know what I mean? If you don't want it, pass it on to somebody else. Yeah. But at least the flag's not on the ground. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so we're like, hey, they're coming. I was like, give them a flag, give them a flag. And then, yeah, sure enough, we gave them a flag, and you guys started going with it.
Went away. But I remember that picture perfect, actually, because I was waving the flag, and it was a free kick.
Free kick.
Kafa. Probably like 25 yards out. I think we might have been tied.
We have that on video.
Oh my gosh, it's one. I mean, the way he whipped it in there, and curled it around the keeper and scored, and everybody goes nuts, and there's beer in the air, and there's flags going. It's one of the moments I remember most about being not on the field, but on the side, like supporting, and it was just so much fun. And it's like those moments, like that. After we post this, you'll have to share that video again.
I'll post it.
Because it was just like it was that moment where nothing else in the world mattered. And you're just all in it together, and it's just fun, and it's love, and it's so awesome. And I think that's what makes supporter clubs and soccer so special.
Yeah, and I mean, for us with the Escuadrón, bro, like, man, I don't care where you're from, who you are, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to support the team, you're welcome. You're welcomed in our section. You're welcomed in our group. Mm-hmm. And towards the end, it's funny how we broke apart to become Escuadrón. It was like late September, I believe, and our first game as like Escuadrón was an away game in Reno. So the first time we kind of put the image out there is like there's another supporter group. It was an away game. So our following game, which was a home game, I think it was against RGV. I don't recall. I was a bit more nervous then, because I was just like, shit. I was like, we're gonna
in front of our home team.
We're gonna
home crowd.
Not just that, but it's just like people are gonna see us like marching with squad, and then just like break apart to this section. Yeah. And people are not gonna be expecting it. And so when we did, like, people were just like, the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were there with flags, and we were with our banner, and so people kind of saw it, and they're like, oh damn. Like, and so Ed came up to me, he goes, hey bro, he goes, good luck with everything. And if you guys need anything, we're right here.
That's cool.
And I was just like, likewise, man. I was like, let's link up for some chants, and we'll make this happen. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we did. That first game, we linked up for a few chants, and then they did their chants, we did ours, and it just went on from there.
And you guys do the majority of your chants in Spanish, right?
The majority of we do the majority of them in Spanish. We do have some English ones that we kind of incorporate in there, but that's kind of like what I want to have these practices for. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Spanish is not a hard language, so if we start having these practices with Vigilantes, with Fire Squad, with Skulk, it's just like we practice the chants, not just our chants. We can practice their chants. There may be some chants that I don't know that Fire Squad has, or some chants that Skulk has that I don't know. Yep. You know what I mean? So if we all come together and practice each other's chants, like, bro, we're gonna be stronger as a whole. And so the majority of our chants are in Spanish, and I feel like it just gives it that rhythm to like want to get up and like move and dance, and I don't know.
It's beautiful. I mean, for one, now with Fuego being a Spanish word, I mean, it obviously makes sense. But I think we you know, I talk about this a lot and kind of in my personal life, but growing up as a white kid in Fresno, like I was I was called Mijo from birth, you know, by like all my neighbors and stuff. Like it's been part of my experience in life, living and growing up in the Central Valley, and I'm proud of it. Like I don't perfectly speak the language, I understand a good chunk of it, but I love the language, I love the culture, and it's part of our culture as Central Valley folks. So it's like, I think it's really cool for people that may not know the language to be able to learn the chants and be able to say a couple words.
And it's not impossible, bro. It's definitely not impossible, because one of my main drummers right now, that he just, I can tell you that I don't even remember how he showed up. I don't recall how he showed up, but he showed up. And this was like over the pandemic. He's Algerian, and he knows the majority of our chants.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't expect to have an Algerian as one of my main drummers.
Right.
But he is. And Robbie, you know what I mean? Shout out to him. He's always there. You know, we're painting tifos. He's there. We were kind of like, we had a meeting to like brainstorm over the chants and how we were gonna change the chants that we had for FC into Fuego, and how we were gonna do the new chants. Well, everybody ended up being busy, and he was the only one that showed up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like he's been there, like dedicated. And so I'm just like, bro, this dude knows all my chants. And like, it's been a couple of months. I was like, so if he can do it, anybody can do it. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? It's just like I said. I mean, you just got to practice.
Yeah.
You know, we just got to practice. I have this other guy that he just started showing up. He's actually only practiced with us twice, but he told us, like, bro, like, I don't know if you ever, you know, saw me or remember me. He goes, I was always like in your section, but like at the top. He goes, I never went, you know, I wanted to, but I never, you know, really got the courage to like go down there. And then he goes, I was at the game against Phoenix Rising when they scored that last goal, and those three guys up there that took their shirts off, as soon as he said that, I was like, bro, I know who you are, and I have you in a picture. My cousin was taking pictures of the section, you know, from the bottom. And in the picture, you zoom in, and there's like these three guys with their shirts off, just waving their shirts after that third goal. And I was like, bro, that's him. I know that's him. And so when he told me, I zoomed in. I was like, bro, that's you. I was like, you're an OG member, bro. You've been around. And so yeah, he's been with us for 2 practices now. He's in to go with us to Kerman and Madera and stuff. And he goes, bro, I don't play a drum, I don't play an instrument, but I can sing loud as hell. He goes, I've been in choir all my life, and I can sing loud as hell, and he sure can. He sure can. So I was just like, you know. I
mean, there's a place here for everybody.
Yeah, I told him, like, bro, even if you don't play an instrument, bro, like, just come out. You know. Yeah,
so kind of in closing, what do you say to people out there who maybe want to join a supporter club, or they watch soccer on the weekends, but they don't really do it with other folks? Like, where do they find you? How do they get to be a member of Escuadrón, and what, you know, all of that?
Man, just come out. Don't be scared. Don't like, leave the nervousness behind. You know, we're welcoming. We welcome anybody, any gender, any age, and just come out, bro. Like, don't be scared. At the end of the day, this is all fun. It's we're family oriented. You know, our youngest member is 15, and our oldest member, I don't even know how old he is, but you know what I mean. He has all white hair. You know what I mean? So I was just like, this is all for all. It's for all ages. It's for anybody and everybody. You know what I mean? Find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, Escuadrón de Fresno. Find me on Instagram, El Presi. You know
El Presi.
I mean? Vicente El Presi.
Let's go.
So I was like, just message me, bro. Like, just come out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I guarantee you, come out to one of our practice sessions, like, you won't regret it. Yeah. You won't regret it. And this is just getting started. I feel like we're just getting started. You know what I mean?
It's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning. And we got a long way to go. I tell everybody, like, bro, we practice since now, because we're not going to show up on game day and sound perfect, bro.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
We got to practice since now, and, you know, we're going to get there.
I believe it. And I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. This takes an army. All of us. We each have our own specific set of roles and responsibilities into making soccer in the Central Valley incredible.
Definitely.
And I think that we can all do that behind this club and the Fuego, and it's clubs like you that support that make this the best place in the country for soccer. So thank you for being on.
I feel like this team is, this team has the right people behind it. So
thank
it's
you.
exciting for us as supporters to see who's behind the club now. And, bro, Presi and Presi.
There we go.
Right now,
there
bro.
we go.
It's just like, come on, bro. And it's just like, I know, we know who's behind the club, and that just makes us comfortable to know, the transparency behind it all. You know what I mean? And know what's going on with the club, and it just gets us excited, bro.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited we'll have you on again sometime
Definitely,
soon.
bro.
But I appreciate it, and thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you.